So the European Super League project is dead in the water. What absolutely amazing news. And I want to use this video to explain why I think this is amazing news, and not just related to football either, but society more broadly. Who and what it's exposed, the greed and the corruption, and also talk about the power of what can happen when unity is achieved. That rare concept now, unity, and what that can do and how that can bring about a change for good in the world. So I don't know how many of my subscribers are football fans. Probably some of you are, some of you aren't, but I'm sure you'll all be aware of this story, which is absolutely massive. And yeah, so just to talk a little bit myself, I've probably never even mentioned this, but I am a massive football fan myself. I'm an Everton supporter for my sins, and I'm used to the eternal frustration and disappointment that goes along with supporting Everton, my team. That is the story for me of being an Everton fan, is one of eternal disappointment and frustration. But you know, the love that's been there for an early age is still there. However, I know I'm not alone in saying that my relationship with football and with the club I support has been damaged hugely due to a number of factors over the last few years. And that's why this story is so massive for me, because it's bringing into such sharp focus the missing connection now that there is between fans and the clubs that they support, and the clubs that they support not just through their support, but through their financial support as well. When I think now to how the game has changed from when I used to go to the match regularly, I had a season ticket at Everton for years, and the experience of going to the match, meeting up with friends beforehand, going to the pub, buying the programme, having the dirty hot dog at half time, a pint at half time, watching usually it'd be the absolute dross that Everton would serve up, and then getting the train home and talking about the game. And it was just a magical experience, as anyone who loves football understands what I'm talking about. You know, I remember the first time I went to the game. I was seven years old, and I was just captivated with it. The sights, the sounds, the smell, the scale of the stadium, the bright lights, the fluorescent green of the pitch, the fluorescent blue of the seats, and just it's such a visually stimulating experience, and it's really an experience for the senses going to a football match, and the atmosphere as well. But the game has been sanitized, and I want to just try and remark really in this video how what's happened to football and the sanitization of football with money, VAR, and the fact that there aren't even any fans allowed at the moment, and now this European Super League project, how it's a mirror. The financial and moral corruption in football acts as a mirror. All it does is reflect what is happening in society across the board and mirror that. But what it does, I think this Super League project has exposed now the fact that the worst conspiracies, and this is a conspiracy, it is a conspiracy against football fans. The worst conspiracies are in plain sight for us all to see. And we all know what the main one is, don't we? So let's just track back a little bit then. Money has absolutely ruined the game. It has sanitized it beyond belief. The players' wages, the match ticket prices, the TV subscription prices, which of course are all part of the problem. And fans, you know, whether they want to acknowledge it or not, if they are funding Sky Sports, BT Sports, then they are also, you know, complicit in the problem to a degree. But the game has morphed into this kind of like corporate behemoth now, which is exists to make money, which exists to merely be a product, not to be an expression of community, which is what football is. Football clubs are and should always have been and should continue to be an integral part of the local community, just in the same way the pub is or the church is. So are football clubs. They have such an important role to play, and it is absolutely nothing without fans, as we are seeing now, with fans not even being able to go to the game. So I think the game's been financially corrupted beyond measure, and I'm pretty sure most football fans agree with that sentiment. The game is no longer raw, it's no longer real. The connection between the fans and the clubs, and certainly the connection between fans and players, has been severed. So many people I know say the same thing. It's almost as if the interest level has gone so much now that people just take a cursory glance every now and again at how their team has got on. I don't really bother to ever watch the Everton game anymore. I don't make any effort to. I'm pretty ambivalent if they win or lose or draw. And it's sad. You know, it's really, really sad because, like I say, for most people, their football club is their first love. You know, and it's the only constant in life. You can't change who you support. Once you've committed to that relationship, that is it. That's your love for life. It will never ever change, and nothing can ever make you change it. And that's why it's sad that connection, that emotional connection, and that's what it is really, it's an emotional connection that people feel to their football teams, has been broken, damaged, and the link severed. So how do we build back from that? I'm not quite sure. So the next thing, I talk a lot about in my videos about how life has been sanitized. So many things. You know, I talked before about the pub. What kind of country are we living in where people can't go to the pub and football's taking place behind closed doors and that fans can't even go to the game? Yet the players are still making massive, massive amounts of money. And when VAR got introduced, I remember, I thought it was an awful idea because, again, this is a microcosm, really, of society broadly, where VAR, for me, was brought in to make the game perfect, to make sure that all rules were dutifully followed without exception. And mistakes, which are part of what football is, it's an imperfect game, like everything in life is imperfect. The mistakes provide the talking points. Players are allowed to make mistakes, and referees should be allowed to make mistakes as well. Yes, held to account. You know, held to account by fans, held to account by the media. Yeah, absolutely. But I think what got forgotten was that, probably by a large number of fans as well, is that most refereeing decisions were correct. It was a very, very small number of decisions in the game that were magnified, put under the microscope, and all of a sudden the media doing what the media does, creating a situation whereby something that's not really that important is blown up and into this thing whereby the game's being ruined by referees' mistakes. We must have technology to ensure that the rules are properly implemented. And you end up with a situation, and we have ended up with a situation which is completely farcical. I mean, there'll be some of you watching this video that won't know what I'm talking about here, and that's fine. I'll try and move on. But those of you who do follow the game, and you know, you look at VAR and what it's done to the game, how it's utterly destroyed it. Stop, start. That is not football. Regularly and frequently analysing the rule book and looking at situations to decide, try and find which rule's being broken, reversing decisions, completely removing the emotion and spontaneity out of the game. You know, the hardest thing to do in football is to put the ball in the back of the net. When that happens, there should be an outpouring of spontaneity, an outpouring of joy, a celebration. That's what it's always been like. It's a release. It's an amazing, ecstatic moment for players and fans alike to unite when the ball hits the back of the net. Not people looking over their shoulders, looking over to the TV to see whether the goal's going to be allowed. It's a complete and utter farce. Just as life has been sanitized, all areas, the joys, the spontaneity has been taken out of life. Well, the same applies in football as well. And then the conspiracy, the power grab, the money grab in plain sight when they think that people are distracted by other things. Wow, absolutely stunning. What they tried to execute with this power grab, with this Euro Super League, was beyond words. How impudent, how the barefaced cheek of it, the arrogance and the ignorance, how they think that they were going to get away with that. A Euro Super League where the most powerful clubs who have a responsibility for the footballing pyramids in their entire countries, right down to grassroots level. Certainly that's the case in the UK, in England with the English Premier League. Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, Tottenham, and other clubs as well. Other big clubs like Everton, they have a responsibility for their community. They have a responsibility for all other clubs within the footballing pyramid, right down to Sunday League level. Well, what was this? This was two fingers to the fans, two fingers to the rest of the competition. Let's go and create a Super League where there is no competition, where it exists to serve the financial interests of those 12 clubs and those 12 clubs only. Absolutely, astoundingly and astonishingly arrogant, greedy beyond my comprehension. But now the positive. What has it done? Well, when I saw the news break of this on, was it Sunday night? I think it was Sunday. My instant reaction was, it's not going to happen. It can't happen because it is going to unite everyone against it. And that's precisely what has happened. Fans of all clubs, I mean, you take Liverpool or Manchester United, those two clubs, and the relationship between the fans of those two clubs, they hate each other. Yet they're united. They are united against this because people can see the game that they love and the damage that's already been done to it. This would be the coup de grace. This would be the final nail in the coffin of the game that we love. And fans will not allow that to happen. And the message has been received loud and clear, and lo and behold, it is not going to happen now. The people behind this clearly don't realise how ignorant they really are. They don't realise that people can see their arrogance, can see their intentions, can see their true motivations, and they don't realise the level of anger. So, what's the broader point, positive point behind all this? Well, first of all, I understand the level of anger. I do, because football is massive in this country. It's absolutely massive, the sport of football. I understand the anger for the reasons I've tried to outline in this video, the anger of fans. What I will say is that there are, as shocking as this is, and as shocking as the descent of football into farce has been, that is nothing compared to what else is going on in this world. So what does it say about us actually as a society that the people are angry about their game being destroyed, but not angry about their lives and livelihoods being destroyed? That's the first thing. But this may act as a catalyst and a trigger for more general civil disobedience about more important issues. And I suspect that it will. It's shown the power of unity. It's shown what can happen when enough people say, no, this isn't happening. It's shown the power of unity. I also hope that with such vulgar greed displayed in plain sight that more people may think, what else is going on in this world? Are there other areas that we need to look at where we're being manipulated? You know, where we're being taken advantage of? What are the corruption? What are the lies? What are the deceptions are there? Will people start to look around more? Well, maybe so. Maybe this is the trigger. Now, I've thought all along, actually, that a trigger for kind of like mass civil disobedience, peaceful civil disobedience, like we say the word peaceful, may well be something that we couldn't have predicted. Could this be it? Something that comes out of the blue, something that we're blindsided by, but that just acts as a trigger for the civil disobedience that is required by the people in this country and across the world, to say to those who want to do us harm and who are doing us harm, to say to them, no, we will not allow this to happen. Because look how easy it was to put a stop to this. Yes, they have the power. Yes, they have the money. But we said no. Fans said no, it's not happening. And there is strength in numbers. And I hope people realise that. Everyone who is in a position now of hating their existence, hating their lives, hating who we've become, but are not necessarily doing anything about it. Well, they've done something about it with regard to football by protesting, by voicing their concerns. Imagine it if enough people could do that in a more broad and general sense, to roll back these ridiculous restrictions, dangerous restrictions on all of our freedoms. Because there you go, this proves that when enough people unite against something, then that scheme is dead in the water. So let's see whether this does act as a trigger, act as a catalyst for more general civil disobedience, and thus a return to a better society. Let's see. Please do. So I see a positive. I see this in a really positive light, actually, because they've exposed themselves for who they really are. They've shown complete disregard for the fans of the game, for the ordinary man and woman on the street, and it's provided a rare unity that is required right now more than anything else. So it's positive. So this is a positive video, and I really do see positives associated with this story. So let me know what you think in the comments below. What, you know, are you a football fan? What do you think of this developing story? Do you see any positives yourself? And please do subscribe to The Imperfect Individual. And thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.